Hi everybody, this is Laura, City Scrapper. Thank you so much for joining me on my channel today. I have to start my video out with an apology. Last week it was Sonia from Drop the Color Sonia's 200 subscriber hop, and I neglected to finish my video in time, so I decided that I would combine that with Punched Out Thursday to Die For and put out a video. Even though I'm a week late, I'm really sorry, Sonia. I did want to congratulate Sonia on reaching 200 subscribers. She is such an incredibly sweet person, and I love her channel. I hope that you will check it out. The link to her channel and everybody else's channel that is part of a Punched Out Thursday to Die For, that will be in the description box, and that is Drop the Color Sonia. And again, congratulations, Sonia, and I'm sorry that I'm so late in getting this video out. I'm going to be scrap lifting one of Sonia's layouts. There's a photo of it in the upper left-hand corner, and that is a little bit of a close-up on the layout. You can't see everything that's on it, but you can check out Sonia's video, and I will link that in the description box as well. And that photo is a little bit of a close-up on her layout, but I think you could see the most important part, which is the fringed center that she has. She has the beautiful photo of her daughter, and then all of the beautiful fringed paper layered underneath that, and that was something that I was very drawn to, and I wanted to create on one of my layouts. I started with a piece of white cardstock. It's 10 3/4 inches square. And then I used an EK Success border punch, and I punched out the birthday candles, 4 strips of them, so that I could put them all around that white piece of paper. I'm using this pink piece of paper behind the photo, and then I liked the pattern paper that was on the other side, so I'm cutting the paper into 3 strips, and I'm going to flip 2 of them over, and I'm going to leave the pink strip going down the middle. By the end of the layout, you really can't see much of the pink strip, but I wanted to make sure that just in case you could see through the fringe, that there was some pattern paper behind it. I'm inking the edges of the paper with the candles on it, not because I wanted to add any effects, but just because I didn't want there to be a white edge, and you could see the white edge, and I thought that it stood out a little bit. So I used some Distress Oxide in Black Soot to get rid of the white edge. And the name of this collection that I'm using is an Echo Park collection called Party Time. I really like this birthday collection. I feel that I have a lot of birthday collections that I like, but I don't absolutely love, and this is one of the ones that I really love. In the upper right-hand corner, you could see a little bit of the white background. I guess a measurement must have been off a little bit somewhere. So I decided to just put a black piece of paper behind the pattern paper, just so that you wouldn't see white. I don't think your eye will go to it if there's a black piece of paper there, but if there was white, I think that would be very noticeable. The photo that I'm using is 3 3/4 inches square, and then I mounted on a piece of white cardstock that was 4 inches square. This is a photo of my younger daughter, Julia. She's now 22, but in this photo, she was just turning 15 years old, and she's holding up her plate. You could see that we made her pancakes that say the number 15. In order to create the same layered fringed area that Sonia has on her layout, I'm using some strips of pattern paper that are 4 inches wide. I'm also using some fringe scissors. I've made fringe before with regular scissors. These do make it much easier and much quicker, but you could just use regular scissors if you don't have these. So I drew a line where I knew I wanted to cut up to. I just wanted to make sure that the lines were uniform on all of the pieces of pattern paper. And I did this to 5 pieces of paper. 2 are pink, 1 is orange, 1 is a black pattern, and the other one is the same blue paper that is going around the edge of the layout. So I play around with them a little and decide how I thought they would look best layered. And so I wanted to separate the 2 different colors of pink. So I put the light pink on the bottom, and then I put the orange paper on top of that. I put the black and white paper in the center, and then the other pink, and then finally the blue at the top. And I'm just trying to judge by eye how far apart to put all of them so that they'll all look like the same amount of the fringe is showing for each of the pattern papers. I definitely didn't space everything perfectly, but I think that it's close enough that it's not super noticeable that they don't have the exact same amount of space between them. When I put the blue pattern paper on the top, I tucked it underneath the photo a little bit. I wanted to bring a little bit of the pink pattern paper below the photo, so I'm using my Fiskars scalloped punch, and I'm just cutting out a very thin border. I inked the edges with some black. That's really just to make sure that there's some contrast between the blue and the pink, but I think that there's enough contrast between those two colors that it wasn't necessary, but I just thought that it would be a nice little touch, and I had my black dauber handy. Sonia had a doily on her layout, so I'm using some doilies on my layout. I'm putting one on either side of the center strip of paper, and I'm going to have two main clusters that will be formed on those doilies. Sonia placed her title on the lower right-hand corner of the layout, so I'm going to do the same. So I'm going to call this layout Happy Day, and this title was taken from a Soft Spoken Stickers pack, and I thought the colors went along really well with this Echo Park collection. The two sentiments at the top, love this, and good times, those are from that same pack, and so is the heart, which I put to the right of the photo, and then there's a little banner underneath the photo that says cheers. And I ended up using every sticker from the sticker pack except for one, and I don't remember what it said, but it just didn't fit this layout. Because this is a birthday layout, I thought that I would add some balloons, and I thought that the balloons that I had happened to match the colors of this pattern paper really well. The larger balloons are Jolee's boutique balloons, and then the smaller ones are from Paper Studio. And the larger ones are shakers. They have little sprinkles, it looks like, on the inside, and I like that. I think that that's really festive. I love making shakers, but sometimes it's very time consuming, so this worked just as well. The layout is pretty busy. The pattern paper is busy, but it also has the same kind of a look as the fringe, some long, thin lines of color. So I thought that to break up the center and the pattern paper, I would use a border. So I used that same Fiskars scalloped border punch, and I punched out two 12-inch strips of black paper, and now I'm tucking that next to the center strip, and I think that that does help to define the central part of the layout and put some separation between the different parts of the page. As I was looking through my punches, I was reminded that I have this large corner punch, and it's a little too large to use on photos, but I like to use it on other places on the layout, and I thought that this would be a good way to bring another solid to the layout and break up that pattern paper. So I started off with putting all different colors, or all different patterns, I should say, in each of the corners. I end up switching this up a little bit. But first I wanted to add some photo corners to the photo. So I use my smaller photo corner punch. This is an EK Success scalloped photo corner punch. And I punch out some photo corners from the candle paper that I used in the background. And I wasn't really thinking, and I had to re-punch some of them because I wanted all of the corners to have the candles going up and down, and so I had to think about that a little bit and punch a few extra punches, but in the end I was able to get all of the lines going the same way on those photo corners. And then after I punched them out, I inked the corners with the black soot, Distress Oxide, and then I added some jewels, and I did add a different color of jewels to all four corners. And then while I had the jewels out, I added a pink one to the left of the banner that says cheers. And then I also put some green jewels on the heart. The sentiment in front of it says the good life. So I put a jewel on either side. And then I used some relatively larger jewels to put on each of those photo corners that are in the corners of the layout. I moved that balloon around a little bit. I'm going to get back to the area above the photo in a little bit. But first I was thinking that it might look cute to have some jewels on that scalloped border. I think with birthday layouts, you can really kind of go crazy and add a lot of different jewel embellishments. So I was thinking that I would alternate between yellow, green, and pink jewels. I'm using the very smallest jewels that I have in my stash. And this is where I replaced one of the photo corners. I have the two opposite corners matching with that dark pink pattern paper that I used behind the photo. And I was thinking that the happy didn't really stand out too much. When I look at it on the video, I think that it is very readable, but when I was making the layout, I didn't think that was the case. So I put some black paper behind it, and I don't think that hurt. I think that that does make the letters look a little brighter and a little easier to read. Earlier, I took the two balloons that were near the heart, that's on the right-hand side of the layout. I took those away. I just felt that they were a little too much and things were looking a little bit too busy. So I took those away, but I did want to add something more on top of the photo, and I'm sorry I'm a little off camera here. First, I put a pink strip of pattern paper. That's the same pattern paper that I have on one of the fringe layers. And I cut a strip and I backed it in black cardstock. And then I added some numbers. These numbers are from a Felicity Jane ephemera pack that is called Jenny. And then I punched out another photo corner so the opposite corners would match. And that completes this layout. Here are some close-ups of the layout. I had a lot of fun making this layout. I really enjoyed scrap lifting Sonia's beautiful layout, and I am so happy for her that she reached this milestone on her YouTube journey. I think you'll really enjoy Sonia's channel. As I said, the links to Sonia's channel and then everybody else who creates layouts for A Punched Out Thursday to Die For, the links will all be in the description box. I will also put a link to the video in which she created this layout. And again, congratulations, Sonia. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I will see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.